Good night, Rogata. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Sports Scene. Lawrence is looking very sharp in a very nice shirt tonight. Lawrence, how have you been?
The shirt,
Very, very nice choice of shirt.
Yeah.
I will give credit to Mrs. Lahari. Diane, very, very nice shirt. I had to say that.
Jeez, you caught me off guard. Good night. Good night, everyone. And thanks for tuning in to Sports Scene. It has been a massive week.
Yeah.
A massive week. We've got a new Prime Minister. Well, not a new Prime Minister, but the incumbent Prime Minister is back in. And it was a long Tuesday. Long Tuesday.
He retained the seat unopposed. I'm like, wow. Yeah.
Unopposed.
I wonder what the conversation was in camp that led to this. Yeah. All right. So enough of that. Let's carry on with sports. On the show tonight, we have Stanley Hondina will be joining us to speak more about the trials that's happening for the PNG Orchids, the women's team. And we also have Matt Church coming on as well.
We've got Matt Church and Al Maromoro. Also in a special hunter segment.
Of course, okay.
Because next week they're here. Hopefully.
Hopefully
They're here. Fingers crossed.
I thought you said they were going to be here a week or two ago.
Well, what was said last week, they were meant to play this weekend.
Yeah.
Here in Port Moresby. It was going to be the match against the Townsville Blackhawks. But unfortunately, due to election-related violence, the QRL said it was unsafe
of course.
for their players to come, not our players.
Of course.
So I mean, I say that seriously. I mean, I don't want to, okay.
Let's not dwell on that. Okay. But of course, we're looking forward to that. I hope there's nothing else that's going to happen that's going to stop them from coming over, and we will get a taste of, watching it here on home soil after so many months, so many years, 2 years, too long to be, waiting to see another match being played here on home soil again. So we'll look forward to that. All right, I'll let you carry on with the scoreline. Yeah,
okay. Let's have a look at the scoreline, and we'll start off with the NRL. Last Thursday, Roosters 34, Broncos 16. Roosters 34, Broncos 16. Well, that'll be it for that.
You wanna talk more? Okay.
No.
Okay.
And then the Storm beat the Titans 32-14. Parramatta Eels 36-20 over Manly in Manly, I should add. Rabbitohs, huge win against the Warriors 48-10. I think it was 30-0 or something along those lines at halftime. The Panthers, well, this was a shock. Well, I thought anyway. Without Jerome Luai and Nathan Cleary, they still won in Canberra. Panthers winning 26-6 against the Raiders. The Sharks 24-18 over the Dragons. The Cowboys got a bit of a scare earlier on, but managed to beat the Bulldogs 28-14. And Newcastle Knights beat the Tigers 14-10 in the NRL round number 21. Now the other games, Host Plus round 17, Tigers 32 over the Jets 18, Pride 22-10 over the Blackhawks. The Devils beat the Magpies 30 points to 14. The Cutters too strong against the Capras 34-16. Dolphins 28, winning Manly Seagulls 18. Tweedhead Seagulls 26 apiece with the Bears. And the Falcons had a huge win against our SPPNG Hunters 44 points to 6. Moving it right along, the PNG NRLC, a couple more games till we reach the finals. Gurias had a good win against the Morocks. It was top of the table clash there, 28-20. Gurias winning there. The Cutters becoming a team to be reckoned with, winning in Kimbe 32-16 against the Dabaris. The Mioks won 20-14. The Tigers drew with the Eagles 18 apiece. And the Lahanis also drew with Gulf Wiso 18-18. In fact, Lahani scored right on the death. They had the kick to win the game. But thank goodness for our 600 ways. We drew there. Wigman 24-14 over the Vipers. Now the OFC Champions League, our Lay City FC boys over in New Zealand. Central Coast 3-2 against Lay City. So Lay City unfortunately bow out of the Champions League there with that loss. ABM Galaxy 1-0 over AS Venus. And the I don't know how to say this properly, but hang him.
Something like that.
Yeah, 2-0 over Real.
To be honest, I was on Google. I'm like, how do I pronounce this? And then it says hygiene.
Yeah,
like, okay, no, that does not sound right. Anyway,
No,
never mind.
Yeah, all win 2-0 against Rewa FC. That is there is one more. All right, and in last night's results in the Port Moresby Basketball Association, Saints women 30 beat Ultimates 16, and in the men's division, Saints 38 lost to Tamaros 54, and Exodus 38 over the Chiefs 11. That is it, Denny.
All right, there you have it. We'll go for a break now. On the other side, Hunter's special segment. Stay with us.
Thank you very much. Welcome back, all the viewers of Sports Scene, as we are just about to start the press conference for the announcement of a sponsorship to the Santos PNG Orchids. Stanley Hondina will be part of that press conference with the PNG Orchids chair lady and also the PNG Orchids head coach, who's also with us. So we'll do that press conference really shortly and give you all the highlights. Stay with us.
Thank you and the media, of course. You're always around and always support rugby league and support the sport. We are in the media and PR business. It's about getting out there, telling the world what we do in the space of the sport. So on behalf of the PNG RFL Chairman Sandy Saka and his board, the PNG Orchids chair lady and the board, we thank you and welcome BSP onto the PNG RFL family of sponsors and partners.
My name is Nuni Kulu, and I'm really pleased to be here today on behalf of Bank South Pacific, and especially to support our national team, but also our PNG national rugby women's team, the PNG Orchids.
So we're looking forward to working with you going forward. We appreciate the support and the commitment you put in, and we hope this agreement or this relationship will continue in the years to come. As we continue to move on with what we do. So we thank you. And on this juncture, I would also like to thank Coach Ben for coming up. He took time off his busy schedule to come and attend. We have a trial match that is happening on Saturday. That is the avenue where we're giving opportunity. It's about participation and the inclusiveness. So giving all the girls an opportunity to showcase what they are capable of doing so that we can give them that opportunity to go into world stage. And coach is here to see that happening on Saturday. From there, he's going to pick out his 23 girl squad, and that squad will assemble for the PM's 13 on the 25th of September. An announcement on this will come out in the next few days with the final details of it, but there's a Prime Minister's 13-match schedule for the Jilerus and the Orchids, the Kangaroos and the Kumuls. This stage 25th of September, and then the build up to the World Cup, which starts back end of October, November. So coach and the team, we wish you well from PNG RFL as well. As you prepare, we know you'll go and do us proud. All the sponsors and partners and organization will stand behind you in support, whichever way we can support you to get over the line. But having said that, I once again thank BSP for coming on board. Thank you for the investment that you put in, and let's work together to realize your set values, your beliefs in the sport, and we can work together hopefully into the future in developing and supporting the games.
This group of players that will go to the World Cup in the PM's 13 will be picked on merit. So how you played in 2019 with the last time the PNG Orchids played, that doesn't count anymore. We respect that, and that was a very, very good win on home soil. But this is 2022, so everything will be done on merit basically. So the girls that are based in Australia that we're supposed to come across understand that. I've spoken to the PNG females last night. They're very encouraged by what was said because it's all around merit. And one thing I assured them was what I've already seen is that there'll be more PNG-based females in that team opposed to Australian players.
We just witnessed the press conference of the Bank of South Pacific, BSP, donating or handing over 300,000 kina to the Santos PNG Orchids. Nuni Kulu, on behalf of BSP, made that presentation in front of course, the PNG RFL CEO, Stanley Hondina, and of course the Santos PNG Orchids chair lady, and also the Santos PNG Orchids head coach, Ben Jeffries, as well. We'll take a short time out now, and we'll be back to wrap things up right here on Sports Scene. All right, good night, everyone. Welcome to Sports Scene. Tonight, we're now talking rugby league with the SPPNG Hunters. We're hoping, fingers crossed, that they will play here on home soil, Santos Football Stadium. And with me in the studio, Al Maromoro, the commercial manager for the SPPNG Hunters. Al, mate, thanks for joining us on Sports Scene.
Yeah, thank you very much, Laurie. Appreciate that.
All right, well, we had a stop-start. We were all geared up. I had announced it last week that the Hunters were going to be playing here this weekend. It was meant to be this weekend, huh?
Correct.
But unfortunately, of course, due to all the election-related violence and so forth, that hasn't happened. But since then, what's happened so far?
So since then, we've got our advice from the QRL is they're monitoring the situation up here, and they'll make a decision by tomorrow, by Friday, to give the green light for the next two home games. But we've planned for the two home games here in Port Moresby. The return for the boys, and they're excited. Everyone's excited to have the boys back.
Tell the QRL. I mean, rugby league, everything stops, man. Everything. No matter what side of the fence you're on in terms of elections and politics, whatever, come rugby league, mate. We're all there cheering for the Hunters, or just making sure we have a really good rugby league game.
Yeah, I think, look, we're, we've, now that the elections are, I guess almost over, I think we can find comfort that, everything is settled down now. I mean, we haven't had any incidents, here in Port Moresby, since last week Sunday, or a couple of Sundays ago. So
That's right.
I think we're in good stead to have the team back, and everyone's positive, and I'd like to encourage everybody out there, please come and support the team. Your boys are coming back. Please support 100%. They love playing at home, and they miss playing at home, and we just encourage everybody to come and support the team.
Now this weekend, the boys are playing here in in Australia, on the Gold Coast. We're going to have Api speak to Matthew Church, actually, via Zoom later on the program. But just on the boys, you've obviously spent some time with them as well. It's pretty difficult down there for the boys.
Yeah, for the last two seasons they've been down on the Gold Coast, and it's been tough for them, especially being away from family for so long. It's very tough on them emotionally, as players. So I think that the news that the possibility of coming back to Port Moresby is really giving them a lot of spirit in terms of coming home and playing here. So. We're just staying positive at this point, and we'll all know by Friday.
Mate, so if tomorrow QRL says, yep, systems go, let's get it done, where can we then, as supporters, go grab our tickets?
When this announcement is made, everyone can grab their tickets next week at NFS. And that's all your Eastern Stands, Grandstand, and your Western Stand, Southern Stand. So all the tickets will be sold at the NFS for next week's game. Next week, Saturday, we'll be playing the Burleigh Bears, who are on the top end of the ladder. So it'll be an exciting match. But I think the boys playing at home, we're quietly confident, having, let's at least 7,000 people supporting us behind the boys, we can get the job done.
All right, Al. I think look, we've really touched on the Hunters, and yep, they haven't had the greatest of seasons, but let's end off with a positive note, and I'm sure. I'm not really trying to say it, but I was meant to talk to Church via Zoom, but Api's doing that. I was going to ask him, mate, they must have been eager to come up and then to get the news that they were not, and that may have played on them mentally from last week's result. But they're professional footballers, and they need to ensure that they get the next win, which is this weekend, Townsville against Adenikabi and those guys. Now, just going back to that, so obviously the more bums on seats will help the SP Hunters operationally as well.
Yes, definitely. I think on a revenue point of view, to support the Hunters financially in terms of operating costs, I think more bums on seats will make sure that it's a smooth transition from Australia back to Papua New Guinea, and then accommodating those players with all the training that we have to do, and supporting us with the different training facilities that we do our training in.
All right, Al. I think that's about it. Anything else you want to say?
Please, just once we get the announcement made, please everyone support the Hunters. Come to the games, support your boys. They're looking forward to coming back. Hopefully we get the green light. But please do come to NFS and support the team. That's your team, by the way. That's not just the team that I work for, but it's everyone's team. Thank you very much.
All right, there we go. That's Al Maromoro, the commercial manager for the SPPNG Hunters. Right now, though, don't touch that dial. We've got Api, who's speaking to the SP Hunters head coach, Matthew Church, as we look forward to this weekend's game.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. I'll be speaking to the head coach of the SP Hunters, none other than Matthew Church. Hi, Matthew. Good night. And I know new face. I know you usually speak to Lawrence, and Lawrence is, I think he's recovering from the Brisbane Broncos loss on the weekend.
Yeah, he probably is. Thanks for having me on once again. It's good to be on Sports Scene.
Yeah, good to have you, Coach. I know that over the weekend we played Sunshine Coast, going down 44-6. It wasn't the outcome we wanted, but I know you, through that game, the assessments you've done for the players. What can you tell us about your plan on improving our defense and how that game went over the weekend?
Yeah, first of all, we knew that the Falcons were going to be a strong side that sit second or third on the ladder. So, and they always get a strong Melbourne contingent. So, knew that they were going to be a challenge for us. Obviously, played up on the Sunshine Coast as well. So, unfortunately, we just didn't put enough pressure on the Falcons. I think they gave us a lesson in their kicking game. Their kicking put us under a lot of pressure, and our kicking, we either didn't kick or we didn't kick well enough, and we let the pressure off. And that meant that we had to defend for long periods of time, and you just can't do that against teams, and especially quality teams like the Falcons, and they will put you to the sword, and that's pretty much what they did throughout that match. And I think they scored 4 tries from kicks, so it was quite evident that they kicked better than us.
And Coach, the team list for this weekend, going up against the Townsville Blackhawks. I know the Blackhawks went down to Northern Pride over the weekend. Both teams coming off a loss. I know you, PNG, our Hunters guys, will be confident going in this round to get us back into the winning circle. What can you say about the team list and the plan to go up against the Blackhawks?
Yeah, we named the same 17 from last weekend. That will change. We've got suspension from Roderick Tai, who missed the match through suspension, so we'll have to change the team in that regard. Probably Liam Joseph, who made his debut against the Tigers, will come back in on that right-hand wing. And then we've got a couple of guys, Kevin Appo and Junior Rock, who are returning from suspension, so they'll come in to bolster the side as well. We had a bit of a tough training week last week, and the boys have got some general soreness, so we're just sort of flushing it out to see who will be ready to take on the Blackhawks. We beat them in our previous encounter in Townsville, and we know that they're a strong side, and they're probably smiling from their loss last week, so they're going to bring everything because their finals chances are on the line, and we obviously want to put in a good foot forward. And one of the teams, I guess, that raised concern about returning to PNG, so the Currell with the safety of everyone at the forefront, decided for our game not to be relocated. So we're hoping to use that as a bit of motivation that the Townsville were sort of led to us not playing this game in Pong. And we're all looking forward to returning back to PNG and playing in front of our passionate fans and our valued supporters.
True. Everyone here missing our Hunters guys, and I know the Hunters boys are missing out their family. Also, unlucky because of the elections and the unrest that QRL had to defer our match. And knowing that we'll be playing Belly Bears and also our last 2 home games here in Papua New Guinea, I hope we get to see you and the boys back at home. And you guys have a great match on the weekend. Everyone will be behind our guys. Last 3 games. Coach, once again, thank you for joining us on Sports Scene. And I wish you and the team all the best on the weekend.
No worries, Appy. Thanks for having me on.
And there you have it, Coach of SP Hunters, Matthew Church. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we'll be back with more on Sports Scene.
Welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. Last segment here on the show. So Lawrence will run through what's coming up on the weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Dini. Let's have a run through of the latest in the sports draws. Tonight, massive game. Panthers versus the Storms. NRL will kick-start it off. Tomorrow night, Warriors versus the Bulldogs. And then the Eels take on the Rabbitohs. Another big game there. On Saturday, the 3 games. Roosters v Cowboys. West Tigers versus the Sharks. And the Broncos. Please, boys. Please, we must win against the Knights. Broncos versus the Knights. On Sunday, Raiders versus the Dragons. And the Titans versus the Sea Eagles to end off the NRL. Host Plus Cup round number 18. On Saturday, the Hunters take on Townsville Blackhawks on the Gold Coast. And the Tigers take on the Falcons. Ipswich Jets versus Wynnum Manly Seagulls. Pride versus Tweedhead Seagulls. The Cutters versus the Burleigh Bears. Capras versus Dolphins. Capras versus the Devils, I beg your pardon. And the Magpies versus the Dolphins. Now, in the PNG NRLC, Enga Mioks take on Gulf Iso. Mendy Moroks versus Hello Wigman. Lay Snacks Tigers take on Rabaul Gurias. The Kimber Cutters versus Mount Hagen Eagles. And the Central Dabaris versus the Lahanis. Fairfax Volleyball competition round number 6. Raukele versus Gava in the Women's Premier Division. Malata versus Nanu Mix. Nasobe versus Cobra. And Colors versus PNG EI. That's on court 1. And on court 2, the Men's Premier Division. We've got PX Base versus Nanu Mix. Malata versus PNG EI. Nasobe versus Lole Friends. Gava versus Mokele. And Raukele versus Cobra in the Men's Premier Division Fairfax Volleyball competition. World Rugby Sevens Challenger Series, the women's draw. Kazakhstan versus Colombia. Japan versus Mexico. Belgium versus PNG. Poland versus Argentina. And Kazakhstan versus Mexico. And Japan versus Colombia. And Belgium versus Argentina. And then Poland will play PNG. Again, in the men's draw, Uruguay versus Uganda. Germany against Lithuania, Tonga versus Jamaica, Hong Kong versus Zimbabwe, China versus Kenya, South Africa versus Chile, South Korea versus PNG, and Chile versus Georgia. That is it for the draws. Just the one more we have, and that is, of course, the Port Moresby Basketball Association. And this week on Monday, the 15th of August, the women's division, we've got Dolphins versus Ultimax, and in the men's division, Tamaros versus Chiefs, Saints versus Dolphins. The women's Saints are on a bye, and on Wednesday, 17th of August, we've got the women's Chariots versus Exodus, and in the men's Chariots versus Ultimax, and Exodus versus Spawn Die. That is it for all the latest draws and happenings right throughout the weekend.
All right. Speaking of which, if you have more draws that you would like to share with us to give it some screen time and put it on our Facebook page as well, or any other story tip, please contact us. The number to call is 312-9229, or you can email us on sports@emtv.com.pg, showing on your screen, or you can inbox the Sports Scene Facebook page and leave your details, and we will get right back to you. That's about it. Any last words from you?
Yeah, very quickly, welcome back to Team PNG that's come back from the Commonwealth Games. Well done to everyone. Morea Baru there winning the silver, the highlight, of course, of the games, but I thought squash did well. Karo Iga, the decathlon, he was apparently the crowd favorite. Ran a sub-11 in the 100 meters. That's 10 events. And getting there. The swimming did really well as well. Weightlifting, table tennis, Rayleigh Caputin, and the rest of the track, and of course the Paralympics as well. So para-athletes as well. So welcome back to everyone.
And well done to everyone as well. All right, that's about it. We will leave you. And please join us, same time, same place next week. Bye for now. This is my fake smile. I'm ready to go.